This is Arvin Vohra, founder of Vohra Method and author of The Equation for Excellence, How to Make Your Child Excel at Math. In this video, I'm going to explain some nuances of our live in-class speed updates that you'll get about 30 minutes or so after a student has started any given class. So anytime that a student's in class, about 30 minutes or so after that, the parents are going to get a text or email that says about how fast the student is working on that day. So the first thing to understand about these speed ratings, we're just telling you how fast the student is working on that specific day. And we're also going to say, if the student works at that level of speed and intensity, how long will the entire SAT training program take if you work at that intensity and after you've finished the basic prerequisites? So what do I mean by basic prerequisites? Here's an example. Adding fractions. You need to know how to add fractions to have a prayer of doing well in the SAT math, but we don't think of adding fractions as part of SAT training. We think of adding fractions as fourth grade. Now, many students either never really learned how to do it or they just forgot how to do it. It's one of the most common issues we see in math, but still, even though it's a common issue, it's not SAT training really yet. And when we say SAT training, we mean the advanced stuff, the using prime factorization, advanced Pythagorean theorem, combinatorics, that kind of stuff we consider SAT training. Things like adding fractions, multiplying monomials, knowing the difference between a noun and a verb. That's what we consider to be the prerequisites for SAT training. So it's vital to understand that the time predictions are based on two things. First, how long it's going to take after the prerequisite building is complete. And the prerequisite building, depending on how many prerequisites are missing, could take a very short time or a very, very long time. So first, the time predictions are after the prerequisites are complete. Here's how long SAT training is going to take. And second, they're based on the speed of that day. So it's not an average of all your previous speeds or anything like that. It's going to tell you how fast based on how long it's going to take based on how fast you're working today in this class. And it's there to encourage you to a certain extent to adjust that speed and intensity. Let me tell you when you should be worried. If the student is very young, fourth, fifth grade, the speed is probably going to be, there's a good chance the speed is going to be slower than average. That's not really something to worry about. If your student's a third grader and getting a slower than average, don't worry at all. Normal, don't worry at all. Very slow, though, no matter what age, whether you're in 11th grade or whether you're in second grade, means that there is a significant problem. And we'll recommend that you come in for a free Skype consultation to discuss it. Very slow means that the student's behavior is abnormally bad. It means that the student is just either not paying attention at all, or watching TV, it's very slow is a huge deal. Very slow is a giant red flag. Very slow means that some major behavioral problem is happening. Slower than average doesn't necessarily mean that. Slower than average there might be some behavioral things that we can adjust. It could just mean that the student is kind of struggling with something. And even with slower than average, you can do a Skype consultation. I recommend that you might want to think about doing that, but it's not absolutely essential. A slower than average is not an emergency. Slower than average just means today you're working slower than our average student. That's all it means. Normal is probably what most of you guys are going to get most of the time. Faster than average, you'll probably get that very rarely, and that's a rare thing to get. Exceptionally fast, that comes out almost never. Exceptionally fast means you're going to be finishing SAT training in half the time. It's very, very unusual to ever see something like that. Exceptionally fast means that you already probably have a super high SAT or PSAT score. It means you're probably on the math team and the debate club and doing a bunch of academics outside of school. It means you're working at a totally stratospherically different level. It means you are literally working about twice as fast as the average Vohra method student, which is already going to be a little bit more advanced or quite a bit more advanced than the average student. Anyway, if you have any questions about this video or any questions about anything at all, please email us at learn@vohramethod.com.